Hi everyone, it is Fitz with a daily delivery. I hope you're doing great. I'm doing well. I'm in my basement, quarantined for a week now. It's going to be a week come next week. Still awaiting my COVID test results. I don't think I have it, but I thought I'd be cautious. And because of that, I missed yet another home game for the Kansas State Wildcats. And this one was an impressive victory over Texas Tech. K-State and Bruce Weber beat the Red Raiders 62-51. The Red Raiders were ranked 19th, but probably headed for a top 10 ranking in a span of games. They beat Kansas, they beat Baylor, they beat Oklahoma State, and then they showed up in Manhattan and lost. That, by the way, is 4 games in 8 days. That's a rough schedule for the Red Raiders. No sympathy from K-State that has been through their own troubles. But here's the point that I want to make today. I've had people hit me up and ask if it's okay that they just can't root for the Cats, that they want Bruce Weber gone so badly that they're rooting against K-State in games like this. And here's my answer. Yes, it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. If it's your team, you stick with them. And that doesn't mean you stick with the coach, that you always think that this guy will do it. That's not what it means at all. But if you're really a fan of your school or your team or whatever the situation is, you want them to win. You do. You just want them to win. You know, I famously wrote Bruce Weber should be fired after season 5 or late in season 5, and then they made it to the NCAA tournament through the first 4 and eventually made it to the Elite 8. And so that just kind of proves a point. I never rooted against K-State. I always want the Wildcats to win, mostly from a selfish standpoint because I like to cover winning more than losing. And Bruce Weber went on to some good things. Look, even if you think your coach needs to be changed, you rooting against your team doesn't help the situation. Hope for a victory. And I'll admit this, that if they don't get the win, if you watch the game and you're invested in them winning, and it doesn't happen, maybe it's not as painful as it would be if you were totally invested in the program, but you should still pull for the players. Those players, the K-State basketball players in this case, are doing everything they can to represent their school. Now, maybe they don't have enough good players. Maybe they're not coached the right way. Whatever the argument might be, they are still putting on the purple and trying their hardest. And this group of kids in Bruce Weber's program this year, they're quality. This is a good group of guys. You should be rooting for them. Even if you think changes are needed, pull for your team. Stick by them. And maybe you'll still get your way. We will see.